Hello guys and welcome to round 2 of the 2023 GPVWC Superlights Championship from a sunny Bahrain for once. We're not holding the race at night this time around, and everyone is on track now for qualification. I'm Toby Davis. I'm by myself at the moment. Ed Hunter should be joining me shortly. And currently in the standings, if we talk about the championship standings, Owen McGorgy took a fantastic round 1 win with a different strategy to most of the grid. He pitted only once. Strategy will play an important part today. We have C1, C2, and C3 tyres, which is a harder set of compounds than at Imola. So expect most of the grid to look at that strategy that Owen did at round 1 and look for a 1-stop. But someone will chance the 2-stop, and it has potential to be quicker. So McGorgy currently leads the championship with Fabrizio Gobbi and Liam Duval in 2nd and 3rd. So we have quite a strong grid in Superlights. Some people have moved down from Super League. Some people have come up from Formula Sprint 1. This Superlights Championship is designed to be, as it sounds, a light version of Super League. The races run to 80%, and today is Bahrain, and the 80% distance, the 100% distance is 57 laps in the Super League Championship today. We are only running at 80% of that, so expect a slightly shorter race than what you will get on Thursday. I believe it's 46 laps, but I will have to double check that. But nevertheless, qualification has started. The lights have gone green at the end of the pit lane, and everyone is now coming onto the track to start their initial runs. And through qualifying, the rubber level on the track will increase slowly, so expect the fastest times to be at the end of the session when the track is at its best. And of course, we are looking at championship leader Owen McGorgy as he goes around the track on his initial lap and on his out lap, I suppose. Be interesting to see if there's a variety of lines into this turn. He is using all of the track width that he possibly can. It's 50-50, I've heard, as to whether that's better or not. You do get a little bit of inconsistency over the curb, but of course it does open the apex of the corner out. And knowing Owen, he is a very quick driver. He is an exceptionally good driver in many aspects. He will have practiced that very, very hard, and will be able to tell us by his lap times whether or not that is the optimum line. Opening up the final corner now, as he heads down at the start finish straight, opening the DRS at the DRS line. Now Owen in practice was the pace setter. He did a 30.6, which is actually a very, very competitive time in these cars. As he goes into turn 1, didn't lock any brakes, and through turn 2, nicely getting the power down and heading up the hill back on the DRS. Now into turn 4. Originally in 2004, this was a much tighter corner. It's been opened out in subsequent years. You can see where the international layout goes left there, but we use the Grand Prix layout. Thankfully, so do the F1 cars. It's a tight, twisty section of that international layout. Down into the tight hairpin, slightly locked the front right and missed the apex as a result. But so far, this has been a clean and tidy lap. Now, the double left here, we watched the other day in Formula Sprint 1. It was Jack Mayer on lap 1 in the TOP Esports car that, in fact, Owen McGorgy owns. He went round on lap 1 of the first race, and that is a tricky braking zone. You can easily lock the rears. So far, so good for Owen. That was clean and tidy as well. So we come through this absolutely flat to the floor right-hander, and then onto the back straight. He's missed the apex slightly, and therefore is off the rubber line a little. But nevertheless, this has been a decent opening back lap, and he does set a purple middle sector as well. I can see on my timings it says purple for him, but he of course is the everyone's setting purples if we go to their car, because there's no time to compare. So far Michael Ayers has crossed the line and done a 31.1, Owen a 30.752. Liam Duval has just popped up into P2 with a 0.758, so very close to the initial lap time set by Owen McGorgy, but he is the current pace setter. As we're looking at Jerry Van Boosel, and he's coming through the final corner as well, powering towards the line. Everyone able to set lap times and GPVWC on their own qualifying session, if you like. So you can see there's no other cars on track. As we look at Gobbi, who was very competitive at Imola. Let's see how he does in the TX3 car as he comes through the final corner. He is not happy with his lap. He's going straight to the pit lane. So Craig Patterson, now we're moving back to Fusion Racing. Craig, I believe, standing in for this round. So Craig obviously hoping to be as competitive as he can, but nevertheless, obviously Remco Dazu is not here. So Craig stepping in. He's a very able driver also, and has been in GPVWC a few years now. He's not using that extra bit of track that Owen was using, so he's sticking to the left-hand side of the curb as we head back up the hill now and towards the back straight. Craig has he's 1.1 down in the middle sector, so not his strongest effort, and he may finish the lap and set a banker time. It does give you a delta, so in our factor 2 you have to set a lap time in order to have a delta to compare your lap time with, and often it's beneficial to see how you're doing on track versus your previous best. So Craig has crossed the line. He's 2.3 down, but has now got that delta, that banker in there, and will be able to look to see where he's improving next time he goes out. But Rizio Gobbi obviously didn't set a lap time, so he's out of sync. So he may be able to squeeze a 4th run in here. If he, a lot of drivers will be able to squeeze a 4th run in, but Gobbi will definitely be short of that. So far we've seen everyone that I've seen anyway is on the soft tyre. You can do a contra strategy. In fact, Lorenzo Capolini has set his lap time, I believe, on the medium tyre. He's down in 17th, but you would do that if you feel like you've got the pace to qualify in the top 10. You may choose to run the medium tyre, which is the C2 at this round, in order to gain a better strategy for the race. So if the strategy is indeed a one-stop, you started by starting on the medium tyre. It does mean you can run later into the race, have some clean air to gain some track position. And overall it tends to be a slightly faster strategy, but of course you do lose that initial sort of lap time in qualifying. So Gobbi onto the start-finish straight to start his 2nd run. Let's see how he gets on this lap. Braking marker on the left-hand side. We're waiting to see when he pushes his foot on the brake. It's about the 90-meter board. A little early turn in. I think a slight overcorrection there on the perhaps his brake bias a little too far rearward, but he's nonetheless safely through the initial complex of the lap. Let's see what his split is as he comes through turn 4. So the sector split just coming up now, and he is green, which means it's his personal best, so it's good for Gobbi. He's about a 10th or so off Owen's time, or Owen's best possible time. Owen himself, Owen McGorgy, is starting a hot lap now. So Gobbi coming through sector 2 now onto the DRS. This is the 3 DRS zones here. We've got the start-finish straight between 3 and 4, and this back straight. This one kind of not really an overtaking opportunity. It's more a zone that keeps you in touch with the car in front, and enables you to sort of follow through this high-speed section at the end of the lap. A little closer gives you a better opportunity onto the start-finish straight, which is the real overtaking opportunity. Gobbi has done a green middle sector. Meanwhile, McGorgy is purple in sector 1, so we'll keep an eye on him through the rest of the lap. In fact, he's done purple sector 2 as well, 39.9 in the second sector. That's very quick. Gobbi across the line. Purple final sector, moving himself up to P3, but this man here, Owen McGorgy, absolutely flying once again. He's destroyed the opposition at Imola, quite frankly, both in qualifying and in race. So McGorgy crossing the line, 4/10 quicker than anyone else. That is an exceptionally good lap. That's very, very quick. That'll take some beating. Michael Ayers crossing the line 30.7, so he moves up to P3. Liam Duval 30.618, he's P2. And here comes Raguzza, and he is 30.658. You can see the difference here between McGorgy and the rest of the field. There's a big one. 0.252 in GPVWC, regardless of the career ladder championship, is quite a big margin. Is Christian Francesconi. He's coming through to complete his flying lap and crosses the line. Does improve, moves ahead of his brother up into P10. So him and Michael both driving for TG Racing. Currently 11th and 13th as Kardash moves up to P9. Damien moving up from Formula Sprint 1 along with the Gallery 82 team and Alexander Rogotza. Hygo Poom, P11. Hygo has been in Superlights, Super League, any championship really, you name it, he's driven in it. Been a stalwart of GPVWC over the years. Gobby looked like he was going to improve and then backed out in Sector 2, so obviously just pushing to get back into the pit lane as fast as possible. Here's Silver Joffert. Now, Silver is very quick. He's driving for Tyrone Frith's TTF Racing team. One of those drivers who can put the laps in. He was very quick in pre-season testing also, especially in Super League where he was a third driver. I forget the team he was a third driver for, but he's just off the back end coming up the hill. That's simply a brake. That looks like a brake bias issue. That was before he even got to the corner, so either overheated rears from traction at the previous corner or brake bias. Craig Patterson now, he is a long way up on his previous lap, so let's see where Craig can move up to. Crosses the line now, moves up to 19th. So a very able driver, Craig. He just having a little bit of fun, I'd imagine. Joffert probably ought to pit here. Yes, and does. That was a big loss of time through Sector 2, so he's back into the pit lane. You have to cross that line before pressing escape and then going back out on track. That looked very close, Silver. I'm sure it was fine. Hygo Poom here. He also is going back to the pit lane by the looks of things. He's a bit pedestrian on his way in. Plenty of time though. We've still got 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock for the rest of the session. So the boys and girls are obviously going to get back out as fast as they possibly can. Make sure that they get that final run in. The session the track will ramp up, and the grip will get slowly better. You can see the rubber line on your screen now is darkening. Here's Kilian Goit. I'm going to have to check the pronunciation guide that Scott Sobig has kindly put together for us, but Kilian, as we shall call him, is coming through Sector 1 now, and he is green, which means it's his personal best for sector. 28.6 is a good bit off, actually, the pace at the very top. He's on the soft C3 tyre, which you will hope will get quite a long way into the race. So he's hoping to qualify in the top 10 on that C3 and see how he gets on. He's coming through Sector 2 now. I'm just looking at the times. Liam Duval is still in the pit lane. Owen McGorgy is purple through Sector 1. I'd like to see his lap if we possibly can. He is improving, and he's already 2.5 tenths to the better over everyone else as he comes into this tricky downhill section now. Needs to get the car in, and he does so well. This looks a little smooth. I don't know if he's made a small mistake or if he's just ultra smooth on this lap. We'll have a look. No, he's still using all of the track, so he's just pushing hard but trying to keep it smooth whilst doing so. A very competent driver, Owen, and he's coming through this very fast uphill section. Car looks like it's biting nicely, actually. It's got a very strong front end, and he has backed off. It did look slow. I didn't know if it was just him being super smooth or if it was just a little slow. It was the latter. And here's Fabrizio Gobbi. He certainly is still pushing on hard as he comes into the final sector. He's a couple of tenths to the he's up on his previous time. He could move himself up into the top 3, I think, here, as he crosses the line and moves to 4th. So very close at the top of the field. We've got Road to Formula in first, Fusion Racing in second, and then the TX3 pairing of Ragusa and Gobbi, 3rd and 4th. Michael Ayers in the Valley Esports in 5th, and Dylan Platt actually in P6. We haven't mentioned him yet. He's a very quick driver, Dylan, but he had quite an early DNF at Imola, so he'll be looking to change that. Ragusa gets within 700ths of McGorgy's time, but unless he pushes on his second lap, is not going to get another run in. So Ragusa is probably done for this session. Hygo Poom on a quick lap. He is currently P12, has a bit of work to do, but it's a yellow Sector 2 as well, and he won't have time to do another run. So hopefully he can nail this final sector for his own benefit. It's actually not such a bad thing to be P11, P12 here. You can start on whatever tyres you like if you're outside of the top 10. So Hygo here coming through the final corner, opens the DRS and crosses the line. 31.4 moves to 11th. That is position A in my opinion. I think that's where I'd want to be qualifying. Gives you open choice of tyres. Means you can start on the medium if you like. Here's Craig Patterson coming through the middle sector now. He's green in the first sector. Just looking to see if anyone else further up is on laps. No one really. Silver Joffert is improving, but he's down in 17th, so he's got some work to do. And actually his first sector is it's about 4/10 off. Craig Patterson coming through sector 2, through the left-right here. Absolutely foot to the floor in these cars. Loads of downforce this season. We have new car models, and these car models do have a different way of producing downforce, just like in real Formula 1. We now have underfloor aero, so the wings are less important, and actually the dirty air is much improved. Allows for much closer racing, as Patterson Tokyo drifts out of the last corner, comes towards the line now. This will be his final run. He does improve up to P20, so a good lap for him. Joffert has not improved in the middle sector, and in fact it looks like he's taking it rather easy. Liam de Waal is 2/10 down in the first sector, so he must have locked a brake or something like that. He's coming down the hill towards turn 9 and 10 now. Gets the nose in nicely, and the traction was beautiful out of that corner then. Opens the DRS. Down the short straight towards turn 11. Doesn't use the line that Magorgi's using. As I said, 50-50, you'll see it 50-50 in this race. I'm on the fence myself. Staying well within the rubber line. And then onto the back straight here. Gets the nose in nicely, doesn't use too much curb on the inside. That was nice actually, and he's set a green sector 2. So this could move him up the field a little. He's looking at Ragusa, who frankly has done a very good lap time close to Magorgi. I did wonder if anyone would get close to that 30.3 from Magorgi. It doesn't look likely. Liam crossing the line now, 30.727, doesn't improve. Magorgi is, well, he was purple. He's now doing about 3 miles an hour down the back straight. Tom Parker for Red Arrow. Haven't seen much of Red Arrow. He is last place currently, so must have either only just joined the session or only just been able to set a competitive lap time. Moves up to P18. So he's one of those runners who will be able to have free choice of time. Just looking at the times, don't think that anyone else is really on a lap. Stavros Mercedes is nope, he's in the box. Yeah, that's it. That's it, guys. Owen Magorgi takes pole position once again. Absolutely flying start to the season for Magorgi. He's had pole and he's had a race win. Now he's had another pole, and frankly his pace has been exceptional. Giuseppe Ragusa P2, a good lap from him to get within 800ths of Magorgi. Liam de Waal P3, Fabrizio Gobbi for TX3 in P4, Michael Ayers P5, Dylan Platt, who we didn't actually see too much of, 31.0 puts in P6. There's a little gap here between the top 5 and the rest of the field. Sandeep Singh P7. Last year very competitive in Superlights. Sandeep's a little bit off Owen here, best part of 8/10, and it's his teammate. Stavros Mercedes P8, Joseph Herlock P9 for Red Arrow and P10, and the last of the people who will have to start on the soft tyres is Damien Kardash for Gallery 82. Tom van der Voort with a lovely new helmet that I painted him is P11 for Drake Racing. Hygo Poom P12. Michael and Christian Francesconi P13 and 14 for TG. Very, very close on lap time. Thankfully, we do have their first names on the board, so we can tell which is which. Alexander Ragosa for the other Gallery 82 and 15th. Jerry Van Bussel for Drake in 16th. Adrian Faber, who's in and out of different championships in P17. Nice to see him driving. Tom Parker, P18. Silver Joffert, 19th. Lorenzo Cappellini in P20 for HG Esports. And then the final 6, we've got Kasper Michalak in P21. Craig Patterson, P22. Dominique Korshavin in 23rd for Team Ballas alongside Kilian Guit. I'm so sorry. Alex Hallows in P25. And Flavio Zongoli in P26. I hope I did that one justice. I'm going to take a very, very short break because I haven't stopped for air for the last 10 minutes. Give us 30 seconds or so. I would like to have a little conflab about warm-up. Thank you for joining me and bearing with me. I'm doing my best by myself. And we'll rejoin you in just a very, very short moment. I have a little drink. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for bearing with me so far tonight. We had a up and down qualifying session for most people, but the championship standings, if you weren't here at the very start, Owen McGorgy leads by 25 points from Gobby in second on 20, Liam Taval 16 points in third, Sandeep Singh fourth on 13. Then we have Michael Francesconi on 11 points, Giuseppe Ragusa in sixth position on 10. And then Heiger Poom, Alex Lahoo, Joseph Herlock and Tom van der Voort rounding out the top 10 in the championship. Points do go down to 15th place in GPVWC, which helps if you have a bad race, you still are fighting for something. We do have 26 cars on the grid after all. In the Teams Championship, Road to Formula are currently doing a very good job at the top of the teams, with Owen McGorgy and Sandeep Singh driving for them. Virtual Drivers by TX3 in P2, Fusion Racing P3, who have got Liam Deval and Remco Dazoo driving for them. Craig Patterson deputising for Dazoo today. Red Arrow P4 in the championship and TG in P5. So there's a few other teams who you would expect to do a little better. Gallery 82 had a pretty average Imola round. Alexander Ragosa DNFing and Damien Kardash only finishing only getting 11 points. He will hope to do a little better, I would have thought. In fact, he only finished 11th, excuse me. So yes, plenty of teams and plenty of drivers able to compete in GPVWC and Superlights. This is the second tier on our career ladder. We've got Superlights just behind Super League, both of them using effectively the same car models. And whilst we're in warm-up, I will just tell you the unique thing about GPVWC is that there is car development. you can choose to upgrade certain areas, and you have finances, and you have budget, and you have to hire certain staff in order for your team to grow, develop, and you have to balance that budget very carefully about how much you want to spend on upgrading your car, as the PZZW or PZZW cars in the background crash into each other. That wasn't very impressive, but Sandeep Singh serenely carrying on. You need to go back to the pits, Casper. You are missing a rear wing, my friend. But nice to see the chrome car back, by the way, guys. Some very, very hard work has gone on behind the scenes by a whole bunch of guys, for which I personally am very grateful, and I'm sure you guys are as well. It's a visual feast. Fingers crossed that it stays that way today. We have been experiencing a couple of difficulties with our broadcast server, but it looks very, very nice, and a lot of hard work has gone on by a lot of guys to make that look that way. As Hygo Boom and Owen McCorgy going at it on in warm-up. Honestly, I don't understand why people race so hard in warm-up. It's a good chance to just get out there and do a few laps, get used to the car, do a few practice starts, make sure you got your pit in nailed. Very strange to be out there and battling. It's frankly does you no good. It's better to get in the rhythm of the race pace and the fuel load, which in these cars will be high. You know, it's best part of 120 litres, I believe, the fuel tank. It's a big old fuel tank. A big difference to 10-litre glory run in qualifying. And honestly, sometimes when you see a qualifying where someone's on pole by 2 or 3 tenths, it sort of worries me. You know, it means maybe they focus too much on that qualifying setup and potentially haven't really developed a fast race setup. It depends on the driver. If it's one of the top guys who are taking pole anyway, generally speaking, they'll be fast in the race too. But this is one of them, Liam Duval, who a few years ago in Superlights won every round that he competed in. Didn't finish the championship and still won it. So he has history in Superlights. He also won the first round of the season last season in Super League, and he also has a habit, our friend here, of not completing the season either. I do hope he sticks around this season in Superlights. He's very competitive, and actually a lot of fun to talk to as well, is Liam. I think it's just his head goes a little sometimes, so hopefully he can stick around. But he did. He won the first round of Super League, proceeded to finish P19 the next race, and then had 2 DNFs after that, and that was it for his season. So hot and cold, but so far so good this season. He's still here, he's still competitive, and he is P3 in the championship. So Liam, I think, was the first driver on the Contra strategy, on the 2-stop strategy from Owen at Imola. So hopefully he's done his homework this time round and knows what to do. And we are watching him do some laps in warm-up. It's nice to see a variety of colours on the grid. I'm a big fan, I have to say, of the TX3 livery. Black and green, very vibrant colours. Is very, very nice. Here is one here, Rugusa. It's not so much a fan of the other side. The right-hand side of the car is lovely. A little boring this side, but it's just me. I like a symmetrical car, really. But from this angle, it's a stunning looking car. So kudos to using bright colours. This is another very good livery, the Valley Esports livery. Stavros Mercedes showing it off here. A lot of hard work goes into the liveries across the GPVWC ladder, and I have to say, there's some very creative people out there putting some good stuff together. Stefan McCready, I think, has done a lot of liveries this season in his Pixelate company. He's done a fair few of most of the grid, I would say, but there are some other guys out there, and yes, it's nice to see the variety. I do have a bit of a soft spot for drag racing. It's a little bit of Welsh in me. I've lived in Cardiff in Wales for the last 10 years. It's nice to see those colours going on. Adrian Faber as well, the PZZW. I don't actually know. I need to find out the correct way of pronouncing that team name, whether it's the Z or Z. It's probably neither. It's probably a Szymon, is it a Polish team? Z, it is Z. Okay, thank you. By the way, you can't hear Szymon, but he's doing the cameras and he's helping me out. Behind the scenes, thank you, Szymon. Another man who's put a lot of effort into this broadcast that you see today, and very grateful for the hard work that's gone on. Here's Craig Paston in the Fusion. Coming to the end of the session now, so everyone should have prepared for the race accordingly, and have set their cars up nicely for that full race distance. Craig showing there on the soft tyre. He may be looking to start the soft tyre. Not necessarily sure if I would be from where he is on the grid. I would probably be going as long as I can on those hards, seeing how far I can get into the race, seeing if I can jump ahead of some of those people who start on the soft tyre. Could just be practicing on them, we'll see. But Craig, nonetheless, going through the final corner, and as we end the session, times are fairly meaningless in warm-up, but it is Gobby who's top, followed by McGorgy, followed by Ragusa. Very, very tight at the top of those timings, so we'll see as we move on to the 47. I was right, 47. Or did I say 46? Either way, close enough. 47 lap Bahrain race on the international circuit. As we, is it the international? Is this called the international circuit? I was wrong. Yeah, I thought the full length was the international circuit, but nevertheless, we are on the one that the F1 cars use. So as we move to race, hopefully shortly. Just waiting for the session to move over. I'd like to ask someone who they think is going to win this race, and we'll ask the YouTube chat. Hello everyone, if you're watching along, please do message in the chat and let us know what you guys think. Who's going to win this race? Who's the GOAT? I know all of you like to use that phrase, or overuse that phrase, I should say. Who's going to win? Who's going to do what strategy? Sandeep Singh says Jake Dennehan is going to win. I would say that's less likely than some of the other drivers based on his qualifying performance, but he does do interesting strategies, very good on his tyres, very good race driver, if you like, Sandeep Singh. Wouldn't say he's the fastest driver over one lap, but on a long run, certainly can hold his own. And in fact was battling away in Super League last Thursday. So absolutely keep an eye on him in the race. He should improve his position relative to his pace in qualifying, I would have said. DF Racing 1 says, I have to go for my boys, but hard to look past Owen. I agree. It's hard to look past Owen, is it not? He is a very impressive driver. Being part of the Nocturne management myself, it was a struggle, a battle to beat him last season in Formula Sprint 1. Yeah, he's very, very quick, and showing at a higher level he can still compete. Frankly, I think he should be in Super League. He is that impressive. So here we go, on to the formation lap now. We'll just hopefully revisit the grid, the starting order. So Owen McGorgy, as we've just been saying, is on pole position with Giuseppe Ragusa for TX3 P2. P3 is Liam Duval with Fabrizio Gobbi in P4. Michael Ayers P5 with Dylan Patt in P6 for TR Geeks. Sandeep Singh P7 with Stavros Mercedes for Vale Esports in P8. Ninth on the grid is Joseph Herlock for Red Arrow, with Damian Kardash, Gallery 82 Motorsport driver 10th, Tom van der Voort for Drag Racing in 11th. Alongside him is Hygo Poon for TR Geeks. The Francesconis, Michael followed by Christian are 13th and 14th, with Alexander Ragosa in P15, Jay Van Bussel in P16, Adrian Faber P17 for PZZW, thank you Shimon. P18 is Tom Parker for Red Arrow, Silver Joffert in P19 with 20th Lorenzo Capolini. Kasper Michalak, definitely butchering that, is in P21st with Craig Paston in 22nd, Dominique Korshavin P23, Alex Hallows P25, Flavio Zongoli in P26, I definitely missed them on there. Kilian Guit in P24, sorry. So that is the field. And we have a full content of drivers today. It's nice to have all 26 drivers on the grid in Superlights as they come towards the final corner. Very brave there, Sunshine, warming up your tyres, Fabrizio. I would not be doing that. They are a little more brittle than some of the harder compounds, but he's hoping for a good launch off the line, maybe looking forwards for the early stint. Magorgi serenely cruising around to his pit box, probably just warming up his brakes as he comes towards his grid slot and coming to a stop. Interesting here what tyres people are on. I'm not 100% sure that's all correct. They look absolutely in the top 10, so should be on softs. We'll see if that updates in a moment. Nevertheless, the field is coming towards filing up for the grid, and in a second we will have the start of the Superlights race, the second round of Bahrain. All the cars are on the grid now, and we are waiting for the 5 lights to come on. And when they come on, they will then inevitably go out and we'll be underway for the second race of the season. It's taken an awfully long time for the lights to come on here. Here they are. So we've got 5 red lights coming on, and we will be go for the second round at Bahrain, and here we go. And Magorgi gets a good start. He's moving across to cover from Ragusa, but Ragusa settles in behind him. Liam de Val's had a good getaway. He's going to the outside. It's going to be 3 wide as they head into turn 1. Magorgi defending though and keeps that position. And up into P2 is still Ragusa, and it looks like Liam de Val and Gobby were side by side, but they are still, in fact they still are. It's giving an opportunity for Michael Ayers in P5 to get in there as well. As they head into turn 4 for the first time, and Platt is alongside Ayers there looking for a position, but Ayers has got him covered as we head through the sweeping middle section of the lap. Further back we've got some drivers here with a little bit of smoke coming out their engines. Don't be alarmed, it just means they're slightly overheated on the grid. That should clear normally. Not too much issue at the start though, and it's as we were. It's Magorgi from Ragusa, Liam de Val and Gobby as they head through 9 and 10 and onto the little short back straight. No DRS until lap 3, remember, so everyone is just using slipstream. But Magorgi has already pulled 8/10. He's looking to get outside that DRS as soon as he possibly can. Further back we've got Ragosa here in P11. Kardash has moved up. He stayed in roughly the same place. He's P8 at the moment. No, he has moved up 2 positions. Thank you very much, Szymon. Sandeep Singh, look, has lost a couple of positions off the start. There was a little bit of toing and froing. There wasn't too much contact heading into turn 1. In fact, everyone seemed to be fairly clean as we head onto the start-finish straight to complete lap 1. And Magorgi does have a very substantial lead. He is 9/10 ahead of Ragusa after the first lap. Mercedes looking very, very close here to Dylan Platt, and further back Singh. Oh, and we've got a little bit of contact here. This is Gobby and de Val. They've got to be a little careful this early in the race. There's 45 laps to go, lads. Let's calm down a little as we head up into turn 4. And Gobby unable to get through on that occasion. Cashed by Michalak. In P19, he's making a move up the inside. You've got to be a bit careful into there. And there's a little bit of, and yes, indeed, someone was going to go around there. Absolutely, someone was going to go around. That looked like Van der Voort in the background. It was. He's dropped down to P26, and that was unfortunate. But just one of those concertina effects that you get early in the race. He's still going though, and plenty of time for him to catch up and re-overtake. Let's have a little look at a replay as to what happened exactly. It was as we came in, and do you know what? He just lost it by himself, I think. I thought he was involved in the incident slightly further forward, but looked like he just got on the power just a little quickly, maybe went a little sideways into one of the PZZW cars. Didn't see exactly who that was, but very unfortunate for Van der Voort. He's dropped to the back of the field. Further forwards though, Gobby is still right in there with Liam de Val. And remember, next lap now, so as we get through turn 3, the DRS will be available to these guys. So it isn't on this straight, but it is on the next straight. I should have mentioned there is push to pass in Superlights and in Super League. In Superlights you get 80 seconds. You can use it whenever you like through the race, and it looks like Kardash has been passed by Sandeep Singh who may have used some push to pass to get by. But and in fact, he managed to keep DRS as well. You can see his flap opening, and everyone here will have DRS. There may well be some DRS trains starting to form, but yeah. So push to pass, you get 80 seconds in Superlights, 100 seconds in Super League. That is because Superlights is 80% of the distance of Super League. Hope that makes mathematical sense. So Silver Dropper here, trying to make positions up. He's driving for TTF Racing, which is a very nice livery, by the way. One of those more simple ones. I'm a big fan. And he is right behind Tom Parker here, who is an absolute stalwart of GPVWC. Many years Tom Parker has been around for. And I've raced against him myself, actually. He's a top quality driver. He does it a little bit more for fun, I reckon, these days. I think he was in academy last night at Melbourne, so just enjoys his racing, really. Gobby hasn't made much more progress on Liam Duval, who is, though, dropping back from Ragusa. So looks like Liam perhaps playing the long game here. Maybe looking to look after his tyres, or potentially he just doesn't have the pace. But I tell you who does, it's Gobby in a straight line, and he is going to fly past. The first time that he's able to use DRS on the main straight, and he's clear before they even get to turn one. Look at that. So either Liam didn't bother using DRS, he put the path, or it's just a big difference in straight line speed. But nevertheless, Fabrizio Gobby for TX3 has moved up into third position, and he will be very happy with that. Here's Craig Patterson on the inside there of Kasper Michalak, and he moves up into P19 for the other Fusion car. We were looking at Liam Duval before, now we're looking at Craig Patterson, and he overtook, but he was behind the DRS detection point, so was able to keep DRS. You may be wondering why does Craig have DRS, but that's why. So the detection point is on the apex of, or pretty much in the braking zone / apex of turn 1. So you kind of have to time your move. If you're going to make the move into T1, you want to time it so that you just come out or get into the apex just behind the other driver, so you can sort of steal DRS for the run into T4. Here's Joseph Herlock. We were looking at Tom Parker just now. Joseph in the other red arrow. He's in the middle sector, and the top 10. Every one of those drivers is on soft. So Herlock, it looked like he was on mediums if we call back to the start of the race, but he is on softs, so he is on the right tyre. So well done, Joseph. So those guys in the top 10, initially they will have the faster tyre. When you get to around lap 8, anyone on the medium tyre, which I believe the first driver on the medium is Alexander Ragoza. If we look back to P11, I think he's the first driver on mediums. So now Liam Duval has DRS now. So he may be able to get close to Gobby, but he was nowhere near, look, do you see? So on the previous lap, Gobby got him halfway down the straight. This time around, Liam Duval nowhere near. So I suspect they're running different levels of wing there. Here's Tom Parker, who is very much, that's the medium tyre. It looks like he's on the medium tyre to me. He is down in P14, but that medium is a very good race tyre. It's the C2, which at Imola was the C1, as Joffert going side by side here and being overtaken by, I believe that's Capolini there, getting by. So, sorry, it's Christian Francesconi, excuse me. So Silver Joffert, he is on those medium tyres. So Francesconi getting by, but he's got the grip right now, you know, Christian. So for the next couple of laps, expect him to open a little gap, and then maybe in a lap or two, Silver will be able to get back by. We'll keep an eye on that. Liam Duval making very little impression, look, on Gobby. Since Gobby got by, Gobby is quite a bit quicker actually on that last lap. He was 8/10 quicker than Liam. Michael Ayers as well in the 35s. The leaders, Magorgi doing a 34.0 as his best lap. So that's a long way clear of everyone else. He's 1.1 to the good over Ragusa, but Ragusa's reined him in a little this lap actually. He's a 10.5 quicker in P2, and Gobby is 3/10 or 4/10 actually quicker than Magorgi on that last lap. So Magorgi on a 34.995, that's a second worse than his best. 34.8 for Ragusa and a 34.585 as we see Sandeep Singh going side by side here with Dylan Platt. Dylan doesn't have the DRS though, it is Sandeep's DRS. They're going to go, Dylan squeezing him to the inside, but Sandeep having none of that. Just sticks his car there and parks it on the apex. Beautiful driving from Sandeep Singh. And we've got side by side with the other TR Geeks look, and this time it's Ragosa who has got by, and Ragosa overtaking Hygo Poom there for P11. He made that one look a little bit more aggressive, you know. Didn't give Hygo much room on the exit of the corner, but moves his car up into P11. Another lovely looking livery, by the way. Niels Tiemann, very talented designer in his own right. And Ragosa moves up to 11th. Here we go back to Liam Duval. He's trying to chase down Gobby. Gobby is once again done a very good first and second sector this lap. He's in fact probably the quickest driver on track right now, Fabrizio Gobby. So, and of course we've seen him in Super League. So Liam Duval as well, of course. A lot of these drivers actually have done at least one or two races. I mean, Owen McGorgy did a few races last season in Super League, and Dan had very good, strong showings. So they're all talented in their own right. Ragusa just can't get him in that DRS, but in fact, him and Owen McGorgy set identical lap times the last lap. His Mercedes and Michael Ayers, their teammates, of course. So you'd expect there to be a little bit of team order going on in Valley. If Michael Ayers is a little slower than Mercedes, Mercedes may well get by. In fact, he has. So Ayers now down into P6. Mercedes making the move on him. Here's Hygo Poom returning the favour. You see, this is how DRS sometimes work, you know. And he's backed by Ragosa. Both of these guys, they're the first guys on medium tyre. Keep an eye on those two. They're not that far away, you know, from Joseph Hurlock in P10. If they stop battling, they could really make a difference later in the race, particularly if they just want stop, go to hards. They should have a better tyre wear, and Hygo Poom indeed, I believe he's quite good on his tyres, so keep an eye out for him later in the race. We'll just bear that in the back of our minds that those two, and Michael Francesconi, who's on hards, by the way, in P13, those three, keep an eye on them, see if they can get into the top 10 at least. So Mercedes has got by Michael Ayers, as we were sort of alluding to, a little bit of team order, I suspect, but now Ayers should be able to DRS him at least down the pit straight and gain some free lap time. Whether he's going to drive past his teammate, that's another matter. Ragusa, that lap was 2/10 slower than our leader, Owen McGorgy. Looks at this stage like Owen might have the legs on everyone. We will see. But long race in Superlights. It's not as long as Super League, but it is a oh, that was a late dive from Christian Francesconi, and they lock wheels as well, and they both got away with that, him and Tom Parker, and both have DRS. So unless they're on the push to pass button, they should be evenly matched. Here comes Christian Francesconi again. He's going to send it again, you know. Tom very bravely bears it out around the outside. Excellent driving from both. That was really good. Tom gave him the room on the inside. Francesconi didn't understeer into him. Excellent driving. Here's Dominique Koroshavin. I will get that pronunciation right at some point during this broadcast as they go side by side. That's not going to work. Oh, well done. They both gave each other enough room there. That one looked like it might might end in tears, but Dominique getting by, and their teammate Kilian Guit. Please, someone in the chat tell me how to pronounce that, please. That would be very kind. A couple of positions behind is what I was going to say. Adrian Faber has DNF'd from the race. Not sure what happened to him. Jerry Van Bussel is currently running last in the Drake car. We did see him spinning early on. He must have pitted as well to be 54 seconds back. Here comes Michael Ayers on his teammate. So that didn't last very long for Mercedes. Into turn one they go. Now I'll be interested to see who of those two got the DRS then. It looked pretty tight, and it is Mercedes. So as they head up to T4, Mercedes should be able to, well, if you want to have a run. Oh, here we go. 4 into 1 does not go. There's a little bit of contact there. Tom Parker being followed there by the Francesconis, and here's Christian Francesconi battling away with Silver Joffert, and they heading into T4. That looked like a bit of a push to pass effort from Christian, and once again, do you know what? they've given each other plenty of room there. That was good. They're still side by side. This one is more likely to end in tears. Still excellent driving. I'm very impressed that there was not a big dive bomb into the hairpin there from Christian Francesconi, and he does make the move and gets by Silver Joffer. But again, you know, it's aggressive, but it's fine. Minimal contact. Silver gave him room, and they both survive. There's no real need to squeeze at this early stage of the race, you know. Cappellini there in the HG Esports looking to capitalise. He's on the soft, so his tyres will be a little bit more second-hand than the guys in front of him. Further forwards, we have a little battle brewing. Dylan Platt and Sandeep Singh are relatively close. I would expect Sandeep has... Well, he's done a pretty decent lap actually the last time. He was slower the lap before, so I was expecting Dylan to sort of close up. I think Sandy might just have stayed within DRS, you know. I think that might have been what saved him there. But Dylan's very, very close this time round, and he has the DRS. Sandeep Singh does not. A little bit of weaving from Sandeep to break the toe. That's okay. And Dylan not quite close enough to make a move. Here's this battle again. We've got Silver Joffert here being overtaken by Lorenzo Cappellini, and Cappellini has the DRS as they head into T4. Now let's see if Cappellini gives him the room on the outside. I personally wouldn't be giving that much room, and he doesn't. And Cappellini holds the position. You see, if you don't use all the track there, all it does is the guy on the outside just gets a run around the outside of you. You have to sort of move across the track and almost hope that they back out before you get that far. And then if they don't back out, then you lift off. But you still should be side by side, heading in DSs. Obviously, you should give each other racing room, but from a driving perspective, it sometimes is a little better just to put the squeeze on a little. Here's Joseph Herlock in P10. He's the last guy in the top 10 on the softs. In 11th position, Hygo Poom has been making progress actually in the last couple of laps now. So the crossover point has happened. Hygo in the high 35s, Kardash and Herlock in the 36s. So here comes Dylan Platt, by the way. So it's happening this lap. He was closing on Sandeep Singh. I did wonder if this might happen. And Dylan going into turn 1 ahead, which means that Sandeep Singh will have that DRS heading into T4. I'd like to see what Sandeep does here, because he's a pretty aggressive driver, doesn't like to be overtaken, and he's moving to the inside. Do you know what? Dylan's done a sensible thing there. He's just let him have that position. He knows if he fights that too hard, it's just going to harm both of their races. And they were both DRS overtakes, you know. You're just using the DRS to get by. No point lifting off the throttle. You might as well go by, and then give your opponent the DRS the next straight. You both gain time. You don't lose time necessarily. That's the right thing to do. Well done, Dylan. So we're on lap 11 of 47. It won't be too long before the first pit stops, I would have thought. Guys who are... Oh, Craig Patterson, very squirrely there, I think. Silver Joffert, who seems to have lost the position to Patterson, actually, look. Got into the back of him a little there. That was not necessary, and is very close again on the exit of turn 10. And now they both have a run on Lorenzo Cappellini. And Patterson very wisely closes the DRS early and doesn't make the move. There's absolutely no point into there. Let's have a little look at this, because I do think it was difficult to see from... I mean, I say difficult to see. I wasn't really looking. I was looking at my timing screen at the same time, but it looked like... Yeah, contact is made. These cars do not like to be unsettled, and actually, Patterson did a very good job of holding on to that. So, well done, Craig. All those superkart skills doing you very, very well there, my friend. Stavros Mercedes still behind Michael Ayers at the moment. Those two kind of in a world of their own there. Valley Esports in P5 and P6. Best of the rest, you would say, behind the top 4, who very much are all 4 still in the race. You know what I mean? Not still in the race, but still. Oh, and now you see, that wasn't so nice from Cappellini, and Patterson got a little bit nudged wide there. And this is not going to be fun. This is going to be you need to calm down a little bit, boys. Patterson's gone defensive and somehow doesn't have DRS. Third and turn 4. Please don't do it to another driver, Silver. That would be nice. He's following Campolini there through. And now as we head into the hairpin, this is an overtaking opportunity. You have to be a little brave under braking. Dylan Platt and Sandeep Singh still engaged in their DRS battle. Lap 12 of 47. Pit window's absolutely open for the two stoppers. I don't know how many there'll be. I suspect not very many. Those C3s, particularly in these Superlights cars, I suspect will go till at least to lap 15, 16. Dylan coming onto the start-finish straight now. Ragusa's caught McGorgy in the last lap or so. This is my what I was talking about qualifying setups. I don't know if this has happened with Owen. You might have made the mistake that we didn't see, but Ragusa is managed to stay within touching distance. Maybe it was a small mistake by McGorgy, and he's now within DRS. We see the first of the pit stoppers now. Pit stoppers, is that right? I think you can say pit stoppers. Damien Kardash has come in and put a set of mediums on, so he should be two-stopping. Silver Dropper's made his way to the front of this little pack. No one's done a 180 yet, so I won't yet say it's been a bit too aggressive, but they do look like a pack of swarming bees at the moment. Overtaking corner after corner. You got to be careful there, you don't jump off the curb. We managed to avoid that, did we not, Tom van der Voort, who did pit, by the way, I believe. Let me just check. I can actually check that. He did not pit. He was just quite a long way back, but he's caught these guys up nicely. Here is the battle for the race lead, though, and Owen McGorgy is suffering on those tyres. You know, he is. He's lost a couple more tenths on this lap, and he boxes. So lap 13, and that's enough for Owen, and he's had enough of those softs. Now, will it be C1 to the end? Will it be C2 to the end? I don't know if that's by could be possible. You know, you've done 15 laps. If you do 14, 15 laps on the softs, you could probably do 30 on the mediums. It's pretty much what they did at the last round. It is medium tyres. This will be interesting. It's quite a big pit delta at Bahrain. Let's see where he comes out, and that'll tell you how many seconds the pit delta actually is. Considering Ragusa was within a second, and now McGorgy is they're about 22, 23 seconds off the lead. Yeah, 22 seconds when he came in. So McGorgy's pit stop putting him back into P10. He's only got Ragusa in front of him though, and a nice little gap for him to drive into. So if you want to stay within touching distance and you're Gobby with Ragusa, you want to be doing no more than a few laps here, because the undercut is quite powerful. We'll keep an eye on his sectors, McGorgy's sectors, now that he has pitted. But here's Ragusa. He'll be hoping he can drive a really, really good lap or two. He might well be doing the in-lap now in order to keep in touch with Owen McGorgy. I would say he can get to the end on those mediums. I would say that's feasible and realistic. It is the C2, which was last round's hard, I should say. So you would say it's feasible. This is not going to work from these two. This will not work. Gobby will have to wait here. This is why you need an engineer, guys. This is why you always need an engineer. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like best part of 5 seconds. Fabrizio Gobby's lost there. You have to have an engineer. To have someone calling the shots, and there is no point pitting both cars at the same time. Why did Gobby come in? He's behind him directly. He can see his fellow TX3 driver. You can see him pitting. Just turn left. Stay out. What are you doing? And he's still in the pit lane. And Ragusa's round T3, and yeah, Gobby actually isn't still in the pit lane. It's a glitch. Szymon just told me, thank you, mate. Anyway, either way, you can see the time difference between them now. 5 or 6 seconds. I literally called it. I mean, what's the point? Why have you done that? Gobby's now got it all to do. If you want to podium, these two are very close. Tom van der Voort fighting away with Joseph Herlock. who, by the way, is pitted for mediums. So it looks like the hard is very unpopular. Here's Ragusa, and he's flying past Ragoza. Ragoza? Help, Szymon. Ragoza. I'll do that from now on. Alexander Ragoza in P9 now. P8, P9, these guys. Giuseppe Ragusa. You see, I do my best. Michael Ayers there in P2 currently, with Liam Duval in P1. They're going quite long, you know. They are going quite long. Owen McGorgy, only 16 seconds back of them, will have a big advantage. His last lap was a 34.2. Leader's doing high 35s, low 36s. So McGorgy's going to come out absolutely miles in the lead here. He's already 2 seconds clear of Ragusa, who, by the way, we didn't really look too much at his pit exit. I was too busy whinging about Cobby's pit lane antics, but yeah, 2 seconds to the good McGorgy. Have a little look, hopefully if we can, at tyre choice, but I want to show you what I'm seeing on my live timing. The hard tyre is very unpopular. Everyone who's pitted, I believe, has gone on to the medium compound tyre, which is C2. Apart from Gobby, who is actually on the soft. That's not a glitch, he is on the soft. Which makes even less sense. So he's definitely two-stopping. So he's in P10. He's going to be lucky to be finishing inside the top 10 here, I reckon. Keep an eye. Keep an eye. I've been wrong before, but that's not what that's not the tyre I would be on. Dylan Platt P5 hasn't pitted, but everyone. Oh, and of course, Igo Poom hasn't pitted either. I did say keep an eye on him and Ragosa, and Michael Francesconi. So Ragosa and Igo Poom both started on the C2, which is the medium compound tyre. They are yet to stop. So they are currently kind of out of position. If they're trying to do C2 to C3, i.e. medium to soft, that can work. If they're going to pit around lap 20, you'd expect them to be then pushing hard on C1, but they have to use a different tyre to that C2. So, yes, interesting strategy choices going on here. Different strategy options being chosen. I'm still on the fence as to whether these guys are going to the end or not. McGorgy looks like he's pushing quite hard, you know. He's now got caught up behind Poom, and then Platt in front of him. Poom's a couple of seconds away from Dylan Platt, actually. 3.8, actually. In fact, you can see them further up the road. Platt versus Singh has been an ongoing battle, and they're very close. Here comes Owen McGorgy. He's going to fly past that TR Geeks. You wouldn't normally overtake here, but he's got such a tyre advantage that he's able to. So, well done, Owen. Not losing too much time in traffic. Ragusa's caught up, you know. He's gone up quite a bit. It was I remember saying it was 1.9 seconds out of the pit stop. It's a lot closer. He's only a second back of McGorgy now. And McGorgy's not going to have slipstream or DRS down this straight, so Ragusa could well get by Dylan. And then I was just watching to see if Platt was going to peel off into the pit lane. Look, Ragusa's going to keep DRS on McGorgy. This race is not over, lads. Lads and lasses, excuse me. There is a lot of time left here. Here's Alexander Ragoza into the pit lane. Please tell me I've got that right, Szymon. He pulls into his pit box, puts on hards. I would have said yes. So that is the white marked C1 hards tyre. He will be driving that quite hard to the end. Here's Ragusa behind McGorgy. Both of these guys on the C2 mediums. Not sure if they're pitting or not. Again, I think physically the tyre will get to the end. It's whether on strategy that's a good idea or not. It's still a pretty big pit delta here, you know. You would only want to do more stops if it's sort of 17, 18, 19 second pit delta, not the whatever it was, 22, 23. Owen showed us. We'll see. They both have plenty of pace. Dylan Platt here, still trying to find a way past Sandy, but his race has lasted a lot longer for Platt anyway. His race is a lot longer than it was at Imola. Very quick driver. He is another one with a Toby Davis designed helmet. Let me know if you want a helmet. He's coming into the final corner now behind Sandeep, and in comes Sandeep Singh. Michael Ayers stays out, but Liam Duval is also in the pit lane, and he has gone onto, what tyre is he on? He is on C2. I suspect he is definitely going to the end. I suspect he's definitely going to the end. C1 for Sandeep. Okay, we have some options. We have some different tyres going on. This is interesting. Ragusa's right up behind McGorgy. This race is nowhere near over. In fact, it's wide open. So we've got mediums for the long-running early stint Liam Duval, who I suspect has to be on stopping from there. He's done 18 laps on the soft. He's gonna be doing 28 on the mediums. It's whether these guys go to the end or not. That's the thing. And have they made up a pit stop on Duval? You'd have to say no. They're only 10 seconds ahead. They've got another 10 seconds to make up, and they will probably have to do that after their pit stop, and they're stuck behind Dylan Platt. This is not going well. If you're two stopping, this is not going well for these guys. They will overall be losing out here, you know. Oh, and off he goes, Dylan Platt, either allowing them through or got a bit squirrely. I didn't quite see exactly what happened there. Probably need to see a replay of that one, but Ragusa, look, we'll stay live because Ragusa's definitely got a chance here. Is he on the push to pass button? He definitely has DRS. McGorgy will do the classic McGorgy and do a little bit of weaving, I'd imagine, as we get further down the straight. You know what? It's gonna be an overtake for the net lead of the race. Here comes Giuseppe Ragusa. He goes up the inside of Owen McGorgy. You know, in those early laps, Owen McGorgy looked imperious. He pulled that big gap out. He looked like he was going to dominate this race. Ragusa's having none of it, and it's wide open. We've still got the Valley Esports guys on the soft, still out there in first and second place. They're only 5 seconds up the road from Ragusa and McGorgy, but nevertheless, they are there. Here comes Joseph Herlock. He is behind Sandeep Singh, look, for P10 this would be. But no doing there. Let's have a little look at what happened to Dylan. So I didn't see exactly why he went off to the left-hand side of shot as we headed through 11 and 12, but he does. It's showing him on. It's showing him here on medium tyres. That's he's just boxed. There we go. Switch to softs. He got sideways. Yeah. So at some point those rear tyres scream enough. He got a little bit of a cross on. Did a great job of recovering that. Didn't lose too much time, but probably pitted one lap too late there, Dylan. Lost, if you can see, you lost about 3 seconds there, my friend. So he's not going to be too happy with that. So now, are the roles going to be reversed? Well, Ragusa's within DRS of Mercedes, so not this lap, I would say. Let's see who pits, if anyone of those leading two. They absolutely cannot stack, so I would say Mercedes is coming in. Don't hit the back of it, well done. So Mercedes boxing there from P2. Michael Ayers leads them. Here's McGorgy. Ragusa has DRS on this straight. McGorgy will have it now into T4 with Ragusa not having any DRS. So Mercedes in the box, but let's jump back to McGorgy and Ragusa heading up the hill. Ragusa's used push to pass definitely to get away there. So not quite close enough for those two. But Mercedes goes to, obviously he's going to go to the medium tyre now with only 26 laps of the race. We're nearly halfway through, guys. You haven't got to listen to my voice for too much longer. Joseph Herlock coming out of the pits. Mercedes coming out of the pits behind Joseph Herlock. P11, but fresher tyres. Is Dominique Corosabin for Team Ballas Esports. Christian Francesconi. Has he pitted? Yes, he's pitted for C2s now. He started on C1, so C1 being hard, C2 being medium. Corosabin going hard to the end, but that makes sense. You can drive him quite hard. 26 laps is not many laps for that C1 tyre. The softs did 20. I'll tell you what I like about this season in Superlights and in Super League is that the tyres, there are a variety of strategies going on. The tyres are open, balanced, and frankly, it's fun to watch this. We've got some different strategies going on every race. There's no meta strategy, if you like, as in comes Michael Ayers from the lead of the race. He should come out around Mercedes, Platz, Herlock, that kind of 10th, 11th, 12th region. So again, he should go to the C2, but he should be able to push to the end from there. That's a long way on those tyres, you know. So Ayers coming out of the pit lane now. Here's McGorgy. I'm looking at their straight line speeds. Ragusa's top speed, now, we don't know if it's push to pass and DRS affected, but his top speed in the whole race is 315.2k. McGorgy's 310.4. That's 5 kph down on Ragusa. That's a big difference, you know. And in these cars, which produce most of their downforce with the underbody aero, if you have that kind of straight line speed advantage, it's not as costly as it used to be on tyre wear. So we'll see how that one ends up, but it's going to be easier. It was easier for Ragusa to pass McGorgy, and it may well be the other way around. We'll keep an eye on that. I would say Liam Deval, Heiko Poom is one stopping. I'm not sure about the leading two. Gobby's definitely doing more than one stop. He's on his own, frankly. He's on softs again. Don't know what he's doing. Not sure. Not a strategy I've looked at. Didn't consider going soft, and then medium to the end, but certainly didn't think picking behind your teammate and losing 5 seconds is the optimum strat, but we'll see. It's interesting. I don't know whether 2 or 1. I mean, Florian Gaia in the chat is saying, I think all still out are on 1 stop. The rest is 2 stopping. That was right. I believe that's correct. 2 is quicker though. 2 stopping's quicker, he says. Because we've got Liam Deval here and Heiko Poom. Heiko still out there on those tyres. I said earlier on he's going to be on some kind of counter strategy. He's done 22 laps on those C2 mediums. It's whether or not they can do. What lap did Owen McGorgy pit? He pitted lap 13. So he's already done 9 laps on those tyres. He's got another 24 to do. That would be 33 laps on the tyres. Considering how hard he was pushing earlier on, I don't know if he's 2 stopping, you know. He might well be. If he's not, he's used a lot of life out of those tyres, and Deval, who by the way is currently doing 34.9, which is slower than McGorgy and Ragusa, will have better tyre life come the end of the race. So we'll see. Obviously Deval set a green first sector just now, but that's due to the DRS down the pit straight. You can't really look at that too much. By the way, guys, if you want to follow along with live timing, you have to go to race-view.com. You can have a little look at the GPVWC server, see who is where on lap times and tyre. That's what I'm using, by the way, on my other monitor, just to keep you guys informed. So I'm kind of flicking back between the two, just to make sure I can keep you guys as up to date as possible. You see, the top speed here of McGorgy is not as strong. It's not as strong as Ragusa, and he's staying in touch with that DRS, but not able to pull any moves. There's a nice little train of cars, a nice little gaggle here. We're looking at Herlock, but if you look at the it's Michael Ayers downwards look. Heiko Poom finally pits. He is presumably going to go. He's got halfway through the race, you know. He could go soft to the end. We'll have a little look at that in a second, but here's Sandeep Singh, who's kind of mired in traffic. He seems to be a bit, yeah, so Poom goes hard. It's interesting that he didn't box a couple of laps earlier, but Poom's on the hard tyre now to the end of the race. He comes out side by, not quite side by side. That's worked out nicely if he holds that position. It will be DRS though for Silver Joffert, and look at this. So you've got Ragusa there, push to pass. Why is neither of them using just DRS down there? That's interesting. Poom's going to hold that around the outside. Ragusa is on the inside, and oh, you weren't clear. There was contact there. You were not clear, my friend. But that was nearly a very, very big incident. But Ragusa there, getting away with that one, as does Poom. I suspect they have damage. Let's have a little look at how close that really was. Coming out of T4, you've got to again, you need to have it. What's going on here? Why is no one using DRS for a kickoff? We've got Ragosa on the inside. He's on the rubber, so Poom's run wide. Now, you're not clear. It's still side by side. You can't do that. You have to have someone telling you whether or not you're clear if you're going to do that kind of move. If you don't have that, stay on the inside. Don't try and squeeze in front of the guy behind you. Hopefully Poom's and Ragosa as well, of course, don't have too much damage. Magorgi is either playing the patient game or doesn't have the straight line speed right now. I suspect the patience game is going on here a little. I would like to know from anyone in the chat who has some insider info. That would be nice. Here's Hygo Poom then, on his fresh rubber, coming back at Ragosa and chops across the front of Amy's. Yeah, you can tell from the body language of that was a little bit of payback. Now he's got the tyres nice and warm, he's able to pull away in that traction zone. And that should be him permanently moved up into P12. He will try to get outside of DRS as quickly as he possibly can. The nature of Bahrain, you do have those 3 DRS zones, so you can always kind of stay within touching distance of the car in front by using those DRS zones to your advantage. Here's Sandeep Singh. It's one of those races for Sandeep, this one. He's been battling away, he's been stuck in traffic. His teammates 25 seconds in front of him. They're on the same strategy, and Singh has just not been able to make it work. He's on average, therefore, been a second a lap slower than Owen, which is, compared to last year, a lot. Singh was much further forward than he has been this season. I know he's on different tyres and a different strat to his teammate, but that's a big difference between the two. He's coming onto the pit straight now, trying to get by Michael Francesconi, who has pitted. Oh, he's still out there, actually. I'm telling a lie. He's still out there on the hard tyres he started the race on. Yes, he will presumably be going to soft as Mercedes side by side through T1 with Joseph Herlock there in the red arrow. All 3 of them have got DRS, and this is the issue with DRS trains. Oh, here we go, up the inside Herlock. And Francesconi is going to try to hold that around the outside, and does not. So Herlock moves up in front of Michael Francesconi. Okay. That was a good move, and nice and late on the brakes there as well. So look at this little cackle in front of you. If you're Mercedes here, you're on. Oh, this is what? That was nice. I liked it. Up the inside, wasn't going to make it work. It was a bit of a late lunge, but of course, you see that in your mirrors. You're Francesconi. You're worried then, and of course, Herlock sending one up the inside here into turn 4, braking a straight line, very sensible. And using the newer tyres that he has, whilst Francesconi gets a little squiggle and moves up into 8th position. It has transpired because Mercedes is P9 now. Francesconi now down into P10. These are a bit closer now. Ragusa has some backmarkers actually he has to contend with here, and doesn't have DRS. And this is going to be fun. So watch this here. So these 2 guys in front have to get out of the way. They've got their own race to run. Move, please, is what Giuseppe is thinking. Get out of the way. Thank you very much. That didn't hold him up too much. And Magorgi got through as well. If you're Ragusa, you're hoping that doesn't work there. But who is that? That is Koroshavin? Yes, Koroshavin and Michalak. And there's a bit of lag there going on from Magorgi. Was that lag from Magorgi there, Szymon? Did I catch out the side of my eye? Okay, he didn't see it. I didn't see it either. I was looking at my timing screen just out the corner of my eye. One of the cars jumped backwards. So that was interesting. I don't know if it was Magorgi or not. Let me have a little look on the old replay. It was Magorgi. So a tiny little lag stutter there. He needs to keep an eye. He has had internet issues. I do know he's had some disconnection issues. Certainly pre-season. Hopefully he has those fixed. It's the last thing you want is a disconnection. Oh, in fact, the worst thing I could possibly wish on a fellow driver is a disconnection due to internet connection. There, you see, little lag. Thank you, Szymon. Illustrated my point perfectly. I mean, you don't have to replay the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, mate. Yeah, so absolutely the last thing you wish on anyone is a disconnection. It's the worst thing that can happen because it's not your fault. Or it might be, but it's not really anything you can particularly control. It might be just your internet provider or someone else in the house is downloading something on or trying to watch Netflix in 4K on their iPhone. It's very irritating. Sandeep Singh getting through on the inside here of Damien Kardash and moving himself up into 6th place. Still, he's moving. He's still dropping back from the leader, but certainly now kind of in front of the rest of that train that goes all the way back, by the way, to Dylan Platt in P10. Actually, Francesconi, who we were looking at, not too far off the back of that either. He has to pit though. Higer Poom, look, P12. He could catch these guys on that fresher rubber. He is on hards, but so is Singh, and Singh's tires are a lot older. And here's Mercedes, who is on mediums, but he is definitely going to the end on those mediums. Him and his Valley Esports teammate Michael Ayers, they stayed out a long time on those softs. And if you look, Ayers is actually, because of this gaggle that's been battling. If you remember, Ayers and Mercedes, they pitted 1 lap apart. They were within a second of each other all the way through the opening stint. But now, Ayers in P5, 5-6 seconds ahead of Mercedes. Shows how important traffic is in these tight series, and Mercedes losing out as a result for Valley. Liam Duval absolutely in a world of his own. Fabrizio Gobbi has to box again. But that might not be a bad thing for him. You know, he's kind of if he boxes now, he will come out just in front of Sandeep Singh. Here comes Mercedes now, trying to do the same thing to Damien Kardash that Sandeep did the lap before. Into turn 1 we go, and 2 of the nicest liveries you'll ever see, side by side, and Mercedes comes out on top. Well done, Stavros. That was nice and easy in the end, and I think Kardash knew that one was coming. So Mercedes moving himself up into P7. Another strong showing for the Valley guys actually here. So let's have a little look through the field then, see who's really been the winners and losers since the start of the race. Ragusa obviously currently P1. I expect McGorgy to fight back at some point. It'd be interesting to see what they do interesting to see how he's looking after his tyres, is what I'm trying to say. Gobbi has moved up a position but needs to box again, so Liam Duval will take that back. Tom Parker has moved up 4 places. Craig Patterson, I did say, very capable driver, very capable standing for Remco and Zeo. He is up 5 places off the start. Dylan Platt down 4, but he boxed late, and we did see him get a bit squirrely through T12, and he has time on his hands and the rubber to move back up through the field. In terms of tyres, as we see boxing for Kardash. Okay, so this is the 2-stop strategy playing out here. So Herlock and Kardash in. This is a good point actually. Do we see, so this is Ragusa and McGorgy, who's 1.6 back of Ragusa now, by the way. So something's happened that we haven't seen. So do we see them box again? Which they could do, and they'd come out around Michael Ayers. They should be able to press on towards Gobbi, who has to stop again. And Liam Duval would, in fact, if I was them, I would be boxing again. It would mean Liam Duval would be only 10 seconds in front of me, 17 laps left. It's, 6 tenths a lap quicker. You'd expect that on new tyres. I'd be boxing again if I was Ragusa and McGorgy right about now. But of course, I'm not engineering. I don't know anything. But yeah, Michael Ayers certainly is in a good position here to pick up any pieces if he wants to. We're looking at Mercedes now, still there with Sandeep Singh. And of course, now that people have boxed for the second time, suddenly it looks a lot better for Mercedes. It's only 4.5-5 seconds back of Ayers. Obviously, he's lost a bit of time, but in terms of position and track position, he's not too far behind. He's just got Sandeep Singh between himself and his teammate now. Here is Gobbi's second stop. He just noticed he'd gone into the pit lane. So of course, going into mediums, this will be how hard can I push a medium stint from Fabrizio Gobbi. So see now, Magorgi and Ragusa have to box if they're boxing again this lap. If they don't, Gobby is in danger, or rather likely to undercut them here and get very, very close to overtaking them. So, and he's actually got out in front of Sandeep Singh as well, which is pretty big for Gobby's race now. He's got Michael Eyes in front of him. Should be able to cruise up to the back of him by the time. Careful. If your brake bias there, Stavros, excuse me. You have to be a bit careful in the dirty air on your brake bias. The front wing downforce is gone, the rear wing downforce is gone. Is Francesconi's only stop? I would expect soft tyres. He's got medium. I know. Is Joseph Herlock behind Damien Kardash. P12 and P13. We're fighting over the lower half of the points, if you like. Joseph has just made his second pit stop for Red Arrow. Very much a mid or early 90s inspired Ferrari livery, that one. Here's Ragusa's stop. Now, this is what I was saying. This is going to give Gobby an opportunity to get by. Despite Gobby's double stacking, which would have... If Gobby hadn't double stacked, he'd be right up there with a chance of the win here. So Magorgi now has a choice to make. If he pits, he guarantees P2. That's not going to help, by the way, a bit of lap traffic. But if he pits, he guarantees P2. Actually, it's a 5-second gap to Gobby, so in the end, Gobby's not really caught too much. But Ayers is going to the end now. Ragusa's going to the end, and he's cleared him. Liam Duval, I would expect to go to the end because he pitted very, very late. Magorgi, if he's not going to box, is... this is his one lap. He's got one lap to box. It's now or never. And to be honest, I think the moment's gone. I think Ragusa is. I think this is it now. This is the difference here. Now we get to see 19 seconds in 15 laps. Sorry, I just keep stopping sentences. But I'm trying to work out the maths. He's got 19 seconds, 15 laps, just over a second a lap. Brand new softs versus distinctly second-hand mediums at this stage. Ragusa's going to catch him, in my opinion. This will be tight, and Magorgi's in. That one lap of stopped, right, doesn't sound like much, but it could be beneficial to him at the very, very end of the race. This is a wise decision by whoever's engineering Owen Magorgi. He might be engineering himself. He does own TOP Esports, but this is the right call. You box now. You get back in DRS, you have one lap fresher tyres at the end of the race. You have your best possible chance then of getting by Ragusa. So Ragusa's out lap, obviously going to be a lot quicker. He's going to be 2 seconds clear. Natural. So Magorgi's goal now, he's just got out in front of Michael Ayers. That's, again, really important. He's going to hunt him down till the end of the race now. And both of them, I expect to easily cruise by Liam Duval, but Liam's tyres are a lot fresher, and he's one stopping. It's very exciting, ladies and gentlemen. We have 14 laps left. It's not an insignificant gap. Liam Duval is on much fresher tyres than they were on the mediums. But if we look at the lap times, and again, you can see this on race-review.com, Liam Duval is doing 34.9s. And we'll see what Ragusa does this lap. But 34.9 is... oh! What happened to Stavros? Let's have a little look at... see if we can find out what happened to Mercedes. That's disappointing. Do we have any... let's have a little look, see if we've got a replay here. It's through the centre part of the lap. Nothing really going... Might be a disconnection. Might be... Ooh. Might be disconnection. Nothing really going on yet. And gone. That's very disappointing. That's a DNF for Valley Esports. And a disconnection as well. And as I said, the worst possible thing. You can't. I can't feel sorry enough for someone who has a disconnection. You put all the time, effort, laps, setting up the strategy as Gobby goes by Mercedes' teammate Michael Ayers for P4. That was always going to happen. And Gobby not far back in McGorgy, you know. Fabrizio Gobby is not out of this race at all. And he's on mediums, which I expect by the end of the race to be the better race tyre as well. He's not out of this, you know. It's going to be all 4 drivers at the front of the field. You see them, Liam Duval from Fusion. You've got the TX3 of Ragusa and Gobby, P2, P4, and McGorgy in the Road to Formula car. All 4 of those are going to compress. Over the next 5-10 laps, that is going to compress right up. McGorgy and Gobby, well, McGorgy's got fresher tyres by a lap than Ragusa. This is going to be tight. I couldn't call this. This could be any one of the top 4, I would say. I think Michael Ayers is just a little bit too slow, I think, for the today, not generally, just today, to challenge for the win. But he is there. He can pick up some pieces. By the way, Ragusa's just gone purple. He's 1.2 seconds faster than Liam Duval. I think Liam's going to struggle to hold him back. We'll see. So we have 13 laps left. Not long at all. And that's another purple lap, by the way. Another fastest lap of the race for Ragusa. And McGorgy smashed it by 6/10. Oh, we have a race on our hands. 32.805 for Owen McGorgy versus a 33.489, which was just now the fastest lap of the race for Ragusa. McGorgy wants that fastest lap point, 100%. But that's a superb lap. And he is gaining on Ragusa. It's 2 seconds the gap now. You can see it on the left hand side of your screen, the live time, or the live gap. It does kind of move back a little bit, but you have to look at it on a straight. But McGorgy 2 seconds back, and he's definitely closing. Liam Duval is 6.5 in the lead. It's a second a lap, basically. So a second 1.4 per lap. That won't help, by the way. A little bit of lap traffic there. I didn't quite see who that was. Was it Silverdroffer, perhaps? I think. Difficult to say, but anyway, Ragusa's got by that particular challenge. We have Owen McGorgy here, following in hot pursuit, you would say, in the Road to Formula. He's been the form driver of the year so far. Absolutely top of all of the important sessions to this point, and he's in P3, but has that one lap on Ragusa. It's all about whether he can look after those tyres to the end of the race. Thermally, you don't want to take all the life out of them on the first couple of laps. What's going on here? Are you trying to let him through there or defending? It's over. But through goes Owen McGorgy on the laps traffic and heading through T1. It's I wish I had someone here to just ask the question, but I'm going to ask myself, who do I think is going to win this race? I want to know what you guys think. Obviously asked at the start of the race. It's a bit different now. We only have 11 laps left. Each lap is 1.4, 1.2 seconds. Ragusa's catching Liam Duval, so that will happen. He will catch him. But Liam's on this harder compound tyre, you know. Those softs are not going to be brilliant by the end of the race, particularly if they've taken too much life out of them so far. Oh, look at this. McGorgy's caught right up to Ragusa here. He's within DRS. Just that one extra lap. They did the right thing. Owen and his team boxing on that lap. I hate that line personally. If it works for McGorgy, fantastic. I just think it's too inconsistent, but that's for me. Yeah, he's caught right up to Ragusa. They did the right thing on the strat there, boxing. Definitely. So now McGorgy, he's the hunter, and he's got 2 drivers to get by. I would say if he can get by Ragusa, he should win. It's a big if. Ragusa, we know he has decent straight line. Was McGorgy looking after his push to pass? Look at the way he's using push to pass here. He's got DRS, he's got push to pass. He flies by as they head down the pit straight and go into turn 1. Ragusa let him have that. I wonder if he himself is saving a bit of push to pass, and maybe he just thinks it's better for McGorgy to go by at this stage and get by at a later date. Gobby's not completely out of this, but he's a few seconds back. Michael Ayers has dropped back, as I wondered if that might happen, but that I think might be the race-winning move for Owen McGorgy. We will soon find out. It's 10 laps left. They're both lapping extremely quickly at the moment. that was another purple lap, another overall fastest lap for Owen McGorgy, who's done a 32.7, which is very, very fast. And he's managed to get by Giuseppe. So in the background we have Gobby, and we've got Ayers just behind him. As we wait for this battle to compress up at the front, there is some moves going on a little further back. We've got Tom Parker and Silver Joffert, P13, P14. They're quite close on track, but most of this now will be a waiting game. You can see Liam Duval and the little straight down towards the final corner is the gap between himself and Owen. You know, Giuseppe's not. He's 5/10 back. He's used push to pass out the last corner. Not much, but I think Owen probably used a little himself. Difficult to say from here. I have no idea really. I'm just guessing. But Ragusa trying to get quite close there. Not looking to make a move yet. Plenty of laps left. There's still 9 laps to go. 9 more times that they're going to have a go. Well, 8 now going to have a go at that. But this is the thing. You can stay in touch with the RS. It's definitely better to follow than be followed, I would say, in these cars. The dirty air, as I was saying earlier, not so bad as it used to be with the non-ground effect F1 cars that we had, GPVWC cars that we had last season and the seasons before. It's Damien Clardash, P11, and he's gaining on Joseph Hurlock. Both of these guys on the same strat. We watched them box reasonably close together. So it's great to see a mixture of strategies, though. Robin Pansar's put the mod together for this season. He's put all the physics together. Chris Williamson updates the mod and does a fantastic job behind the scenes, by the way. Doesn't get enough credit. He's race directing today. He does all of the updates, livery updates, the track updates. GPVWC would be a poorer place without these guys that help out and do it for their passion. And thank you to Chris. Always does a fantastic job with the track updates and the livery updates. And I'm sure he gets late submissions and problems all the time, and still presses on and deals with it. So well done, mate. Thank you. But the mod this season has been put together in terms of the physics by Robin Pansar, and he's done a great job of balancing the tyres and making sure that there's loads of strategy options available to each and every team. And we have a variety today, and all the leaders here who are now within 3 seconds, the top 3, and Gobby behind as well. If he hadn't lost 5 seconds in the pit lane, look where he'd be. Are all on different strategies, and it's great to see. Here's Joseph Hurlock, P10 then, sandwiched between 2 Gallery 82 dark blue liveried cars. And he has the DRS, and he is going back by Ragusa. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Alex. Oh goodness! That was nearly monumental, and that was Hygo Poom, who was ahead of these guys, who had seemingly lost it by himself. I didn't see that he was surrounded by anyone in particular. Yes, he was absolutely on his own. Now, let's see what happened to him, but I want to see this from track cams again, because from the side of the track, he's just completely, that's just, I mean, concentrate. Oh no. No, Hygo, what are you doing? That's awful. What are you doing, my friend? Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but that was pretty brain dead, all of that from Hygo Poom. You can't spin by yourself and then rejoin the track in front of other cars. Have another go next time, my friend, please. For someone so experienced, I don't know if he's distracted by something, but that was pretty rubbish. Hopefully those guys have a change of underwear after the race. Here is the battle for first place brewing up then. So we're watching Owen McGorgy in the Road to Formula car, black and orange for this season. It was white with blue and yellow last year. I think I preferred last season's livery, but still a nice sharp looking livery. And they are closing on the Fusion Racing car of Dutchman Liam Duval. And Liam, who I know likes Bahrain, or at least has done lots of laps here,
He's going to have a fight on his hands here now, so because McGorgy is just about to get within DRS. He didn't have it on that straight. If you look at the little interval on the left-hand side of your screen on that tower, 0.94, 0.10, 0.91, 0.86. He just has to be within he has to be within 0.999. 1 second, less than 1 second, you have DRS. And it looks like he's going to be well within DRS here. This could be like taking candy from a baby here. Much fresher, softer compound tyres for Owen McGorgy. Is he on the push to pass button? That's the question. He looks like he's not. He's just on the DRS button. But he'll be looking to make a move into turn 4, I'd imagine. Not going to send it up the inside here. It's very late on the brakes, it looked like to me, but nothing doing there. So here comes the traction. Here comes the push to pass. He'll want to do it here if he can. Liam is going to go to the right hand side and then edge Owen back to the left hand side of the track. They go into turn 4 side by side. Liam is not leaving too much room there, and Liam's going to hold on to it. I knew he wouldn't make it easy. Side by side they go. Liam still cuts in front. Hard but fair. Brilliant racing. Ragusa's right there. It's going to be a 3. Oh, here comes Ragusa up the inside. Nothing doing there, but they're going to go side by side as they head down towards the downhill turn 9, turn 10 complex. Duval on the inside. He's still blocking McGorgy there. And Ragusa's got a great chance here now. And we knew it close up. This is a massive battle for the lead. So here comes McGorgy. He wants to get by as soon as he can. He's been forced to the outside again by Duval. This is a little over defensive from Duval, but he wants that lead. He wants to hold them up as long as he can. There's only 6 laps left in this race. Don't know if he can do this for 6 laps. It depends how much push to pass he has. He's been on his own for most of the race, Liam. That should be said. They only have 80 seconds over the whole race. And here comes Ragusa. He is right there. I do believe he has better straight line speed than McGorgy. And both of them are going to be right on the coattails of Liam Duval in the Fusion cars. They head down the start finish straight. Duval trying to break the slipstream. This is it. This is the race this is the race right here. Liam Duval goes defensive. He won't have the straight line speed this time around. You'd expect McGorgy to hold on to that one. Push to passes his way by, uses all his tools, DRS, everything. And he takes the lead of the race on lap 42 of 47. And here comes Ragusa then. So can he get by Duval, not get held up too much? Duval's on the push to pass button. He does not want to give this one up. Oh, he's going to come back across the track into the leaders. You can flick out. When you've got DRS open, you cannot flick out the slipstream like that. That is exactly what happened in this exact same championship last season to Luke Maguire at Mexico City. That was just as brain dead. And Liam Duval, I'm afraid, has taken himself out of the race there by being way too aggressive on older tyres. He'd been way too defensive against Owen. He's nowhere near him. Look, he's got nowhere near the rear grip that McGorgy has. Opens the DRS, launches all of his push to pass into turn 4. Really, mate, that was never going to work. And honestly, he's a lucky boy he didn't take out McGorgy and Ragusa there, because that would have been quite a big punishment. McGorgy's not on the push to pass or DRS buttons, obviously, but we're going to watch a fairly backwards Dutchman fly past us here. Yeah, well done, Owen. Paying attention to his surroundings there. He was very, very slow on the apex there, so I'm going to have a little drink. Water, I should add. McGorgy leading then. Still from Ragusa. It's a two-way battle for the lead. Gobby there, and 3.8 back. By the way, Fabrizio, if you hadn't double stacked, you'd be in the lead right now. This isn't over. It is for Liam Duval. This isn't over otherwise. Ragusa's right there. It depends on their tyre wear situation now, because McGorgy does have that extra lap. It's so critical on the softer compound. Doesn't matter on the C1, not so much. You might use 1.5 to 2.5% a lap of your tyre wear. On the soft, it could be 4, 5, especially if you're pushing on the outlap like I know Giuseppe would have been, in order to stay out ahead of McGorgy. So the two stoppers worked, not by miles. Liam Duval obviously was on the one stop and should have taken P3 in this race. He'll look back on that and kick himself, I'd imagine. You just can't flick out of the slipstream like that with DRS open. You will just rotate. It moves the aero balance a long way forwards when you open the DRS, and you have to be smooth. If you're going to dip out of the slipstream and get the fresh air onto your front wing, you have to be smooth coming out of it. And he just wasn't. And there's no need to. Don't do that too much, Owen. You'll just end up distracting yourself when you're braking zone. Drive in a straight line, mate. He's not going to overtake you there. As they come into the final two corners then. Lap 43 and 47. We're going to go on to lap 44. So we have 4 laps remaining. 44, 45, 46 and 47 are the laps remaining now. And here comes Ragusa then. He's on the push to pass. He's on the DRS. Oh, side by side they go into turn 1. Oh, look at this! On the traction, Ragusa just floors it, and he takes the lead back away from McGorgy. And who has DRS? It isn't McGorgy or Ragusa somehow. Neither of them had DRS, but it swaps back over. Ragusa straight back onto the push to pass and gets through. And yeah, he is back into the lead of this race for TX3. That was really good, actually. He's on the rubber, it makes a big difference braking on the rubber. And then just floors the throttle in a straight line, makes sure he has the brilliant move. And in fact, McGorgy deserves a bit of credit there for giving him enough room on the outside of the corner as well. So these two, and look at the gap that Ragusa's pulled, actually. It's 6 tenths, even though McGorgy, so it would have been more actually. It would have been more like 7 tenths. Has McGorgy not quite got the tyre wear of Ragusa? We will find out. I want to follow that battle right to the end of the race, but we do have other cars on track. As we can see, Kardash and Herlock, we just had a quick look at those two, still battling away over the lower points positions in the top 10. But now the question is, how much push to pass do they have remaining? We can't see it. I can't see it. No way of telling. There's no, unfortunately, no display that tells us how much push to pass they have left. I know for a fact they will be using some in the next few laps. If they have any left, they will dump it all. Ragusa has better straight line speed. He has lower downforce, I'm sure of it. McGorgy is just simply not able to keep up with him the way it was roles reversed, you know. And in fact, Ragusa's, it looks like he's got better tyre wear at this stage as well, because he's simply not under pressure this lap round from Owen. So whether Owen took up too much life out of his tyres in that little squabble with Liam Duval, who knows? Duval, by the way, has pitted and has come back out in P12. In case you were wondering, he's there on the left-hand side of your screen. You can see for Fusion, P12 he now is. So Craig Patterson outside the points. Fusion were going to score a bucketful. Now they are not. Here's Herlock and Kardash, 7th and 8th position. Herlock's driven a good race, actually. He's been nice and quiet. Haven't really seen too much of him in that very much isn't a Ferrari 1993 car. But those two, they've been quiet, been getting on with it. P7 and P8 is loads of points. And you'd be happy with that if you're Gallery 82. First time in Superlights, finishing top 10 is decent. You want to get those regular point scores under your belt. Now here comes Ragusa and McGorgy again onto the start-finish straight. They've got a little bit of nonsense, it looks like, in front of them. That's Kilian Guit, who is P22 and last, being lapped, I believe, by... in fact, that's Liam Duval. So he's lost almost a whole lap, look. So they're gonna catch him, or Liam's gonna stay in front based on the fact he's got fresher tyres. These guys need to get very much out of the way very quickly, please, of both Ragusa and McGorgy. Please, let's not have a backmarker influenced race. Please get out both of them. Appalling. You've got to get out of the way quicker. Come on, guys. You've got a race to win. McGorgy and Ragusa do eventually both get by. There's literally blue flags on the screen. You know, these guys. It's not like you have to look for the flag on the side of the track. It literally appears at the top of the screen. And now we've got. This is Patterson. I apologise. It is Patterson. Oh, McGorgy! I thought he was going. Patterson getting well out of the way. He stayed on the inside, but he's at least backed off. It's much better. And now he's been absolutely sent by, it's Koroshodin, I believe, absolutely sent as a result. McGorgy's definitely lost out a little bit as a result of that. but I think Patterson did a better job of getting out of the way. Here's Zongoli. Can you please do the same? Can we get out of the... See the blue flag literally flashing at the side of the track? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's taken them way too long to get out of the way. We're not even in the points. Here goes, and you see, get out of the way of McGorky. Come on, guys. It's just shocking. Zongoli, what are you doing? Just get out of the way. Just back off and get out of the way of Owen. And he's now lost. He's almost outside of DRS. We're on the last lap. That is the last lap of the race, and we could have had an exciting fight all the way to the finish. Instead, Ragusa has driven a fantastic race, as has Owen, and the fight to the very end has been taken away from it. Here's Kardash and Herlock still close together. I'm sorry. I've got it frustrates me so much that these guys just can't look at the blue flag. It's literally flashing on the side of the screen, and he stayed ahead through the whole straight and goalie there, and got in the way of McGorgy, and now he's outside of DRS. And look, Ragusa, you've driven a fantastic race. You deserve the victory. Congratulations. Absolutely nothing that he could do in that situation through the back markers, but we've been robbed of a last lap battle here. And I mean, TX3, they're going to be happy, but from a neutral point of view, which I very much am here, that's a crying shame. Well done, Giuseppe Ragusa. A fantastic result for the TX3 guys. They're going to have a first and a third, and if they'd have sorted their pit stops out, it could have been P1 and P2. McGorgy, I feel very sorry for, but he's still leading the championship, you know. He's had 2 poles, a first and a second. Well done, mate. Fabrizio Gobbi perhaps needs to work out when his teammate's pitting next time round. We've got P4 Michael Ayers, P5 Sandeep Singh, who has had a very quiet race to finish. Only 15 seconds back in the end. Well done. Also, Dylan Platt, who has lasted the entire race this time round. Well done, mate. For DR Geeks finishing P6. We're going to go back to Herlock and Kardash, who are pretty much line astern. Look, and Herlock's going to take it, you know. He's going to take it from Kardash and take P7. Well done, Joseph for Red Arrow, ahead of the 2 Gallery 82s, Kardash and Roguza. Hygo Poom, who very nearly gave me a heart attack, is in 10th. Michael Francesconi in P11. Liam Duval, Liam in the wall is some of the comments on the YouTube chat. I've just seen that. Well done. Sorry. Tom Parker P13. Tom van der Voort P14. Christian Francesconi in P15 takes the final points position after van der Voort's crossed the line. Lovely livery, lovely helmet. Well done. Here is Christian, who ran that counter strategy, stayed out on hard for a very, very long time. Crossed the line on C2. Thank you guys for an exciting race. I managed to talk all the way through that. My throat is completely dead. Can you read, guys? If I just have a quick break whilst we do the standings, and I'll come back for the interviews. Just leave the standings up if you can, Szymon, as we roll through. And I just need to grab a drink. I'll be back in 2 minutes. And I'll find out how angry Aaron McGorgy is, and I suspect he rightfully is going to be very, very angry. Have a little read through the results, lads and lasses, and everyone. I'll be right back.
Hope you all had a nice little read of the results there. Saves me having to butcher some more pronunciations. I do try my best. I've had a nice time. We're going to find out what sort of time the guys had in the second, guys and girls. I want to speak to a couple of them very, very much. As you can see in the calendar, we've got the Australian Grand Prix coming up in 2 weeks' time at the Chris Williamson modified Melbourne Albert Park layout. He did that last season very effectively. It's a beautiful new layout they have in F1, and we are replicating that here in GPVWC. But yeah, I personally have really enjoyed this, and I hope to be back. I've been Toby Davis, but let's find out from the guys who are waiting to speak. Let's have a little look who we have here. We only actually have Owen waiting for an interview so far. Please do come along, come and join around the interview table. I'd like to speak to all of you if I can. Let's drag Owen in if we can, and speak to Mr. McGorgy, who, I mean, I was shocked and appalled at the driving standard there at the end from the back markers, and I'd like to find out if Owen agrees with me. Mr. McGorgy, welcome. Hello. I mean, firstly, I'm brutally honest as a commentator. That was shocking from the back markers there for you, my friend. I'm so sorry. What's your opinion?
It was a bit silly. That's it. What can I do? I can't change anything. He was P18. You're fighting for no points, but you're also fighting against the leaders. Like, well done. And I mean, I think he spun, which is good and deserved, I think. But I mean, it didn't really cost him anything. It's still 0 points either way.
Yeah. That's the point I made, Owen. They were battling over 16th, 17th, 18th. I mean, they're not even scoring points, and he just had to let you through, and we could have had a last lap battle.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I played it perfectly in that last stint, at least. Maybe not the first 2 stints. So I mean, it was just a battle against the back markers. Really, it wasn't a battle between me and Giuseppe. It was. It was back markers in the second stint twice, back markers definitely in the last. But I mean, I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on the rest of my race, because I qualified and got pole, which was, I mean, I don't think I expected to get pole here after my first bit of practice, but. I'm happy that I got it.
When you say that every time in an interview, my friend,
but Bahrain's the worst. Bahrain's the worst track on the calendar. I swear. You'll see from like last year as well, when I was fighting. Everyone there. Where did I qualify? Like P5. I mean, this is better, and it's in a higher series. I mean, maybe it's not against the same people, but it's still against a very high quality field. And I've got to take everything that I can get out of this and try and focus on not what happened at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I would say you still have pole and P2. I mean, if someone offered you that at the start of the race, I think you probably would have. I mean,
at the start of the race, it would have been a win. At the start of the race, it would have been a win, but. I mean, at least it wasn't a DNF.
Yeah, because it could have been. There was a fair bit of nonsense. With at one point we had a car sideways out of turn 1, and that nearly cleaned out a couple of guys. I want to ask you about Liam Duval, because that was a bit of fun for a couple of laps.
That was fun. That was very.
Yeah, it was pretty aggressive from Liam, but I think fair. Would you not agree?
Yeah, it was fair. I didn't get pushed off. I mean, up until when it was pretty fun, because I knew I was going to get past him. There was no way he was stopping me from getting past. But I'm pretty annoyed that he did crash, because I wanted him to maybe hold up Giuseppe. That could have played a good role in the race. I think if he would have been out of my DRS, I would have won that, even if it wasn't for the back markers. Even if they were there, I probably still would have won. It would have been very close. But I'm surprised that he did crash like that, Liam.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happened from my perspective. It looked like he dumped his push to pass and then kind of dipped out of the DRS and just lost it. You can't really I was saying in the commentary, you can't really flick out of the out of the slipstream with DRS open. You will just rotate.
I mean, I did that going into turn 12. I faked to move to the inside, and I mean, I wasn't out of control of the car, but I was definitely close to it. I think thinking back to it, but yeah, I mean, and the DRS games were fun.
And obviously, another pole position. You look lightning fast over one lap. We know you're lightning fast over one lap. Is that something you're kind of just? I mean, you said you don't expect to qualify well, but you always do. In this championship, it's obviously a bit different to Formula Sprint 1 like last season. It's much shorter races. You have to have that consistency over the whole race. And you did some Super League races and did very well last season in the Super League Championship. Are we hoping to see you in Super League this season?
You will see me in Super League this season. I know there's for definite one round that I'm doing. I won't tell you, but yeah, there will be one round that I'm definitely doing later in the season.
Good, mate, because I think genuinely speaking, we can see as a result of Tom Stevens and Jake Danahan, Moritz, all these guys moving up to Super League, that the Formula Sprint 1 Championship was very competitive last season. And it would be good to see you back with your contemporaries in Super League sooner rather than later, in my opinion. I think you plenty good enough for our top echelon of GPVWC ladder. Obviously, it's a long season. Because there's no one else waiting for an interview, I'm going to ask you very, very quickly, because I wanted to find out what's your plans for TOP. Are you looking to move those guys up at the end of the season if you do well in Formula Sprint 1? Are you looking to maybe look at moving to Superlights or maybe make it a Super League team? Is that something you're interested in? And if so, would you drive for them? What's the plan?
We'll see. We'll see with if I want to bring them up. If they do well enough to get moved up. I mean, Szymon's doing a brilliant job. Jack he's on the pace, but there's just a few things to iron out. But Australia, he's already been practicing quite a bit, and I think he looks good. I don't know what good pace is. I haven't driven that car in a while, but I might drive for them. I might drive for TOP. I might not. I doubt I will. I'm probably going to stick with Edge.
The Edge family.
Yeah. If I don't want to be racing against them now. So if I do move up to Super League, they're definitely not going to Super League. It depends on the drivers, really. It depends if Szymon wants to stay. Depends if Jack wants to stay. Depends if they want to move up themselves. I mean, maybe Szymon might have to if he wins. Jack might have to if he wins the championship. But yeah, we'll see.
Well done today, mate. But honestly, it was nothing you could do today. It was one of those races. I think perhaps the straight line speed wasn't quite there, but nevertheless, I think you were robbed of a chance at the very least on the last lap, due to some pretty average driving. So from the back markers anyway, not from yourself. So
I think average is quite nice.
Yeah, I called it shocking on the broadcast, and I will stand by that. It's something that needs to be looked at. So anyway, thank you for joining us. You're the only one who tipped up for an interview, which is a shame. But nice to speak to you, mate, and best of luck for the championship.
Yeah, cheers, and you too with your teams.
Thank you, mate. Well, we have some work to do in Super League, which is the next broadcast that you will see on Thursday. It is from Bahrain, and it will be an interesting one. I have to say, you should definitely tune into that one as well. Now that we have the broadcast running nice and smooth, I hope it was decent. I'll watch it back later on and see. I won't watch my own voice, but I'll watch it back to have a little look at the broadcast quality. But
I've been Toby Davis. I've been joined by Szymon Frelik, who behind the scenes has been doing stellar work with Jack Mayer and a load of people on the broadcast to make it as nice as it should have been tonight. I will double check, but thank you to those guys. Thank you for joining me, Szymon. I really appreciate your camera work and the little conversations you were having in my ear throughout the race. So thank you very much. I've been Toby Davis. I hope to be back at some point this season in the commentary box because I do enjoy it. And I hope you guys did too. Thanks very much.
Bye.